godmentor.wordpress.com. How to stop procrastinating. You know the feeling. You know you've got to get it done. You know it'll feel great after you get it done. You know that it's good for you to get it done. And yet, you just can't get yourself to sit down in front of that book, or that form, or that report, or that computer. You just can't get yourself to stand in front of that work desk, that bench, that counter, that surface. You just can't get yourself to open that door and face this person. Sit in front of them at this table. Whatever it is, you just can't get yourself to do it. So, how do you do it? The easy question, the easy answer to that question would be to say, well, doesn't it depend on what you have to do? Well, not to God. There is one answer that applies no matter what it is you have to do, whether it's face someone at work, whether it's face your boss, whether it's apologize to someone that really just irritates you and bothers you, whether it's doing your homework, whether it's doing a test, whether it's trying to pass an exam that you failed 3 times in a row and this is your 4th time, whatever it is that you have to do, there's one rule that God has already laid out multiple times. And it tells you exactly how to achieve success instead of procrastinating. I'll tell you exactly where they are. Genesis 19:27, 28, 21:14, 22:3, 26:31, chapter 28, verse 18, 31:55. Now go into Exodus 8:20, Exodus 9:13, and it just keeps going on. That's just up until Exodus. I'm going to read to you what these verses say. Early the next morning, Abraham got up. Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all. Early the next morning, Abraham took. Early the next morning, Abraham got up. Early the next the men swore. Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren. Exodus 8:20. The Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning and..." Exodus 9:13. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning." You don't perhaps happen to see a pattern here, do you? I'm going to read you the rest of the verses and see if you can tell what context, what situation, how these people who were personally coached, personally mentored by God must have felt when they got up early in the morning. Genesis 20, verse 8. Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials, and when he had told them what had happened, they were very much afraid. Fear. Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. He set them on her shoulders and then sent her off with the boy, his firstborn. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about. You know what he's going to do. He's going to kill his son. Early the next morning, the men swore an oath to each other. Then Isaac sent them away on their way, and they went away. If you read the whole story, it's very sad. Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he had placed under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil upon it. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then he left. Now, Exodus gets even more interesting. The Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning and confront Pharaoh. Exodus 9:13. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning, confront Pharaoh." Exodus 24:4. Moses then wrote down everything the Lord had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar. Are you seeing the pattern now? Every single time, either Laban, Abraham, Abimelech, Moses had to do anything difficult that they didn't want to do. Who wants to stand in front of Pharaoh? That's like standing in front of Kim Jong-il or Kim Jong-un or, I don't know, some supreme ISIS leader and saying, "Hey, I'm going to cast a curse on you." No one really likes to do that, right? Who wants to confront someone that will simply just execute them, but not before protracted, elongated, grueling torture? Well, how do you do that? How do you get that accomplished when you know you have to get it done? And when you know that when you do, you'll succeed anyway, or eventually you'll succeed? You do it early in the morning. Even the 10 plagues that God personally backed, that God personally empowered Moses to execute. He told Moses, just get up early in the morning to do it. How early do you get up in the morning? How many difficult, challenging tasks do you succeed at on a daily basis? How early do you get up in the morning? You know, this was written 5,000 years ago. It's just recently that science figured out that human beings have the highest level of testosterone, which allows you to become assertive, which allows you to become aggressive, which allows you to be focused, cold-minded, and just push through difficult tasks. Guess when? Early in the morning. godmentor.wordpress.com. What are your goals? Let's talk about it.